Still video one, more from my experience. I was yawning very intensively, with my body contracting while releasing energies, but the yawns were highly energetic and very big and intense. I would relax, breathing out after the yawns, and the yawns would come again and again before I started choking and gagging, and here's the unpleasant stuff, and even vomiting and yelling out loud with the body contracting every time. This may sound a little bit crazy and even painful, but this is definitely a very common way that the body purges while on the medicine. Purges energy, purges and vomits, and through yelling, through yawning, through vomiting, and even having to run to the toilet. I'm sorry, but yeah, I was very fully aware of that and actually a little bit afraid of that. But it happens, and I got through it, and here we are. So yes, it's part of the way, literally, that the body purges out what the medicine is healing it from. It doesn't all make sense. Obviously, everything doesn't all make sense to me right now after that experience. I still have a lot of thinking to do, a lot of pondering, Things may make more sense to me even a few weeks later or days later, we'll see. A number of times I totally collapsed and my body would surrender itself truly and entirely, and it felt like ecstasy. I remember sitting up and just collapsing numerous times. My body just lost all its will to hold on to itself. And I collapsed back into the mattress and sink down into the pillow and release my breath. And that was one of the most wonderful feelings that I was getting during this very intense experience. The energies would build again, and I would purge again, and the same thing would happen again. I would just collapse into relaxation and fall back into my pillow. Jim, the healer, and the shaman, and my partner, Ettore, were over me quite a few times, concerned about me, trying to calm me down, but the intensity of the medicine, to calm down the intensity of the medicine, calm me down, and to bring me back to reality. That was quite a challenge to do. So, because I could barely hear their voices when I was under this experience, really, but when I did hear those voices, it's like I ran after them and clung to them. They did their best during the experience. They really did comfort me. Ettore could telepathically communicate with me during this experience. He'd come next to me and he'd support me, whisper into my ear and talk to me about having confidence and staying strong, and just sending affirmations to me. And I remember that being a totally clear and vivid healing experience under the circumstances. I could hear his voice outside and inside my mind, and he would always call to me at the right times when I was suffering the most. We love each other very much, and his voice and his words were so calming and healing. I would pass him messages from my experience when I could speak, when I was in consciousness, when I came back to consciousness each time. The medicine lasted all night, and the next morning for me specifically. The night seemed so long, as if repeating itself for a week. It seemed never ending. I tell you, I am incredibly weak. It's taking all of my energy to stand up and to record this video, and even to go to the big house to have something to eat. I just feel like collapsing every time. I was completely surrendered to the medicine and the experience, obviously after a couple of hours. As it wore off, I continued to receive messages from ayahuasca. During the morning even, like we were still in communication. The spirit of the medicine could literally communicate to me like a teacher, and no, I'm not crazy. This is the influence under the medicine. This is the experience I had. To tell you the truth, I wasn't going to question anything. I came here with a very open mind, willing to experience whatever I could, whatever healing took, whatever revitalizing from the inside out took. If it's a diet, if it's a journey, if it's a shamanic adventure, if it's an ayahuasca healing retreat, so be it. Open mind, big adventure. Yes, so she continued teaching me about life and that there isn't an answer for it. Just be present and stop trying to control and anticipate everything. It's exhausting. Don't do it. So I tell myself, don't do it. Stop forming answers and opinions about everything. I always try to control my outcomes, circumstances, and I try to give a meaning to everything. Let go, be present. Don't believe a thought you think as well. Enjoy the process more, be a part of the process. Let the outcome and the result work itself out, but live for the process, live for the present moment. Reality is not whatever we think it is. Imagine that for just a little while, really. The reality we live in, the stories we tell ourselves, it's not what we think it is, and it isn't the truth. It definitely isn't the truth. And I've heard that before. This is not new to me. However, experiencing what that is new to me. Again, I've written this down. I'm recording these videos to share with you, and hopefully to connect with others who've had similar experiences, who are keen and interested in this kind of healing process as well, or healing in general. It's quite a concept to take in, honestly. It's not a one-night do. We've got to go home and actively practice awareness. Really. She continued passing on to me valuable life lessons, messages to me through the night and the morning, as I said. Things like lead through following by being more sensitive to the natural flow of the dance. Like life is a dance. Be a dancer. Be a follower. There's a way to communicate with your partner. There's a sensitivity that you need to develop to effectively lead and follow and just be a part of the flow that is life. And I feel like I put a kink in that flow. I block the flow with my anxiety, my fears, and my anticipations, too much trying to control the outcome. Again, this is me personally. This is what I walked out. I'm still sure many of you could possibly relate to this. I won't say too much right now. I have another experience tomorrow evening. Today is a day of rest for us. We need to recover. We need to sort of contemplate the experience a bit and see what really happened in there. Guys, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned.